Question is just about the development of the men's movement of late, and I noticed you just rolled your eyes. My question is really, do they have issues or are they just whinging? And if they do have issues, can they be an ally or a form of ally to the feminist movement?
I must say the word patriarchy starts to worry me because it gets used in so many different ways and nobody's really quite clear what it means. I think we just need to actually start looking at questions around gender, because I think patriarchy was one of those, I do think it's one of the 70s words that we can actually do without, because it doesn't mean...
It's a good one, though.
Well, I don't know, it doesn't... You ask people to define it, nobody's quite sure exactly what you mean. I think there are possibilities, and a lot of the younger feminists I talk to, of working across men and women to change a gendered power structure, which is what we have, to actually reclaim it, because men have a potential to gain on that. When the men's movement, when the sort of, those rather soppy men turn up and say, we're oppressed too, and, what are you going to do to help us? I tend to say to them, get off your ass and do it yourselves. And I'm tired of men who sort of try and sort of put themselves up as the oppressed group. But I think they are caught up in a set of assumptions in the same way women are caught up in a set of assumptions. It's just that they actually benefit from a lot more of them than we do. But I think we can actually start looking at ways and means of enlisting people who just don't want to be labelled by their gender any more than we do. And I think there are ways that we do work across groups, but not necessarily with the men who want to pretend that they're like us. I think that actually is a problem. Oppressed like us, Yeah.
Men have issues. Men really do have issues, and I don't say that subtly. I do a lot of alternative healing work with both men and women, and God, men have issues. So much more. At least we can be here. They're not here doing this. They're at home contemplating suicide. They are struggling with keeping families together. They have issues, and I only say that because okay, I lost my trail of thought. Sorry, I get quite emotional because I'm starting to understand, I guess, from doing this process how many issues they actually have that I never knew before in being seen as a female image. And
I think that's undeniable. I think
yeah.
A couple of the main ones, just for instance, are a pressure to support families.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody does, but some of them I think do, and stay-at-home parents, stay-at-home dads also feel ostracised, judged by other people. So I suppose, the question really is, where do you see feminism fitting in with that?
Yeah, look, I think ultimately it would be beautiful if men could open up a lot more to their feminine side, because they all have one, and I think it's squashed globally and a lot of men, they don't feel they have permission to express that, and I think that's actually causing a lot of the problems. And I think it generally is actually going to come to women encouraging them to start to express that. That's actually going to make a difference. And I'm not denying for a second that men aren't lazy and they could just organise an event like this and, be as gutsy and bold as Steph is here to put this, sorry, two of you there, to put this on. But I just don't want to offend anybody, I'm sorry. But yeah, look, I piss somebody off every day. I'm getting really tired of it. But my point is, I think there needs to be more common ground as well. And for men to say, yes, I have a feminine side, and for women to go, fuck, I have my masculine side, and I am goddamn Mother Earth, and we're trying to save this planet instead of trying to kill each other and bitch with one another, because we all have the good bits and the bad bits. And the more we can, I guess, get over ourselves and, like we were saying before, find a common sense of purpose that is beyond gender with maintaining our identity that we're happy with, the more things can grow and develop into a more harmonious state.
Politically, I think if we don't stop talking about women's issues and possibly men's issues, we're not going to get anywhere. I think we've got to actually start talking about issues, and we've got to start sort of, in a sense, de-sexing the politics of it in a way. And then for that, we need to find the common ground with men. We need to find the men that are prepared to be supportive.
And I want to say, sorry, I do need to say this because I think I'm actually going to need to start talking about this a whole lot more. And Estrogen, going through the body and the way you look and feel and act and interact, it's so different to testosterone. It is so different. And it's hard for me to talk about it. I think I'm going to write a book about it, but it's so true because the way I now relate and connect and get attracted and get disgusted and everything in my daily life is so different. And we don't know that. And it's really, I think, hard unless we kind of know at least that that's part of the issue to try and get places as well. But it's huge. It's absolutely huge.
The only thing, I mean, I agree with you that obviously that's a factor, but I think we also need to be fairly careful we don't fall into the essentialist sort of package of assuming, you know, that women are more caring and men are more this and more things like that.
No, I don't think that at all.
I just think we need to actually find, as I say, common ground, but common ground which expects women, because I'm not a typical woman. That's why I get myself into a lot of trouble. I keep saying I'm the person that...
Me too.
Yeah. I've had a don't follow my example because I have a lateral career instead of a vertical one. But partly because I talk up, I deal with conflict, I talk too much, you know, I stand up and say things in public. Most women don't like standing up in public, it doesn't worry me. But that also means I cop an awful lot of flack from other women, and I just think we need to actually recognise that there's many different ways of being both women and men, and what we're trying to do is not have a social system that allocates you to those on various bases regardless of what you want. And I think we can find a lot of common ground if we take
I hope that everybody that's coming to Women Say Something takes something out of this, you know, this wonderful event that's been organized, and we actually take the thoughts and we don't just... I was having a conversation at dinner about, you know, having the conversations not just with the 6 people you usually have dinner with. That we're actually having these conversations on a wider group, and that we have to, after this evening, that we take the ideas and the discussions and we actually do something with them, not just put them in our pocket and remember it as, what do you say, an orgasmic one-night stand.